Okay, good day. So let's have the other method for the approximate analysis of indeterminate frames. So that is the portal. We have the portal method. So for the portal method, we have two assumptions. So these are the assumptions in the analysis of frames subjected to lateral loads using the portal method. So the first assumption, number one, an inflection point is located at the middle of each member. So both columns and beams of the portal frame. So this is similar to the cantilever method. That is our topic last time. Then we have number two. On each story of the frame, interior columns carry twice as much shear as exterior columns. So let's have an example. Okay, for example, we have this frame carrying 100 kilonewtons lateral load acting at joint D to the right. So our first assumption, based on the portal method, an inflection point is located at the middle of each member. Again, if we say inflection point, that is the point wherein the magnitude of the moment is equal to 0. So first, we name our inflection points. So for columns, that will be mid-height of each column. Let's say this is point A, point B, then let's say this is point C. Then for the beams, let's say this is point D, then point E. So these small letters will represent the point of our points of inflection, wherein again the magnitude of the moments will be equal to 0. Since at that point or at these points the magnitude of the moment is equal to 0, we are now considering the upper half of the frame. Then we are to give a free body diagram. So let's say this is the upper half of the frame, considering the upper half. So we have the 100 kilonewtons at joint D. According to the second assumption, for example, the magnitude of the shear carried by exterior columns, let's say that will be B. That is for the columns AD. We have column AD and column CF. If the magnitude of the shear carried by these two exterior columns will be B, the magnitude of the shear to be carried by column, the middle column BE, will be twice of those, or twice of this shear carried by exterior columns. So since we have an unknown, that is the B, we can do summation of forces horizontal to determine the magnitude of the shear carried by exterior columns. Simply, we are using mechanics. This is summation of forces horizontal equal to 0. That will be, we have 100 kilonewtons, so minus the shear, minus twice the shear for the interior column, minus the shear for exterior column equal to 0. So this is 4 times B is equal to 100. So this is to be divided by 4. Obviously, the magnitude of the shear to be carried by exterior columns will be equal to 25 kilonewtons. That will be the magnitude of the shear to be carried by exterior columns. So for column CF, this is 25 kilonewtons. For column BE, this is 50 kilonewtons. And this is for column AD, we have the same, 25 kilonewtons. So after the computation of these shear forces for all columns, we may now do the complete analysis of the frame. Okay, so we have the shear. The magnitude of the shear for column AD is 25 kilonewtons. The magnitude of the shear for column BE is 50 kilonewtons. The magnitude of the shear, this is for column CF, is 25 kilonewtons. Then, we have the 100 kilonewtons at joint D. So you may start in any joint. Usually we are starting our analysis. It's either on the leftmost column or the rightmost column. So we may start here at joint D. At joint D, we can now compute for the axial force. So let's say this is the axial force for beam. This is for beam DE. So basically, we may do summation of forces horizontal equal to 0. That is 100 kilonewtons minus the axial force for beam DE, okay, plus, or that is minus, the shear. This is minus 25 equal to 0. So this is obvious. The axial force for beam DE is equal to 100 minus 25 is 75. So we have the axial force is equal to 75 kilonewtons. Okay? So how do we compute for the other unknowns? So we have this as our point of inflection. A while ago, this is A. And this is, I think this is point D. From our initial frame. Okay, so this is the mid-height of the frame. This is 2 meters. Okay, so now we are just applying the 3 equations of equilibrium to compute for the other unknowns. So now how do we compute for the axial force? Let's say this is the axial force for column AD. So I'll be assuming it is downward. Okay, I can do a summation moment about the point of inflection D equal to 0 to compute for that axial force. So summation moment about point D equal to 0, assuming clockwise moments to be positive. Again, for our color coding, red for axial force, green for shear force. So this is, we have 25 kilonewtons times 2. Then this is minus the axial force for column AD. This is multiplied by 4 equal to 0. What will be the magnitude of the axial force for column AD? That is, okay, we have, that is 25 times 2. And then, to be divided by 4. So we have that as 25 over 2, or this is equal to 12.5 kilonewtons. So we have the axial force for column AD is equal to 12.5 kilonewtons. Okay, then how do we compute for the shear? Okay, this is now the shear for beam DE. Okay, that is the perpendicular force acting for beam DE. This is the shear for beam DE. So we can do the direct computation simply by summation of forces vertical. But at joint D, we have only one vertical force, that is the axial force for column AD. So basically, if we are to do summation forces vertical for equilibrium, the axial force, the shear force for beam DE is the same as 12.5 kilonewtons. Okay? For if we are to check the equilibrium, what is the moment about joint D caused by this shear force? What is 12.5? That is 12.5 by 4 meters. That is equal to 50 kilonewton meter. That is the moment about joint D. And how about this shear force, this 25 kilonewtons? So 25 times 2 is obviously 50 kilonewtons. So we are just checking the equilibrium about joint D. So that is the complete analysis for joint D. Then we may proceed to the base A. All we have to do is transfer the values and consider the opposite direction. So we have the shear. This is 25 kilonewtons. This time to the right. We have the axial force. This time it is upward. This is 12.5 kilonewtons. Then at the base A, at base A, this is 25 kilonewtons to the left, and the vertical reaction about point A is should be downward. This is 12.5 kilonewtons downward. Then for the moment, this is 25. This is 2 meters. 25 times 2 is 50 kilonewton meter. So this is 50 kilonewton meter. So I'll be using blue pen for the moment. Then obviously we'll be having a moment at A, or the reaction moment at A should be equal to 50 kilonewton meter. Okay, so this is now the complete analysis from point A to point D, or that is for column AD. Okay, now we are to proceed at joint E. Okay, so we are now to transfer the values considering the opposite direction for equilibrium. So this is the same as 75 kilonewtons. Okay, so doing summation forces about joint E. Okay, this is the summation of forces horizontal equal to 0, assuming clockwise, assuming forces to the right to be positive. That is 75 minus 50. We can now compute for the axial force. This is the axial force for beam EF. So minus the axial force for beam EF equal to 0. So obviously we have the axial force for beam EF is equal to 75 minus 50. This value should be equal to 25 kilonewtons. Okay. Then what about the shear? So the shear force, this is initially beam DE, the shear force beam DE is upward. If we are now to transfer it to joint E, it should be downward. Downward 12.5 kilonewtons. So if we are to check what will be the axial force about the axial force for column BE. We assume that this is downward. I'll be assuming that it is downward. The axial force for beam BE. So let's say this is the point of inflection. This is point E. We do the summation moment about point E. So we are now just doing a direct computation. So by the way, this is 2 meters. So assuming clockwise moments to be positive, that is 50 multiplied by 2, then minus, that is 12.5 multiplied by 8. And that is 0. So which means the axial force for BE is simply equal to 0. By the way, for axial force, we are using red pen. Axial force for BE is equal to 0. So if it is 0, what will be the shear? The magnitude of the shear for beam EF. About joint E, so we have only one vertical force since BE is 0. That is the 12.5 kilonewtons downward. For equilibrium, so the shear force for beam EF should be 12.5 kilonewtons upward. So if we are to check the equilibrium, checking for the moments, that is, we have 50 times 2. What is 50 times 2? That is obviously 100. What is 12.5 times 4? We have that from joint D. That is the same as the 50 kilonewton meter. Then, again, this is 12.5 times 4. That is also equal to 50 kilonewton meter. So as you can see, joint E is in equilibrium. We have 100 kilonewton meter clockwise. We have 50 kilonewton meter counterclockwise. Then we now proceed to base B. This is also 2 meters. For the shear, this is the same as 50 kilonewtons. The magnitude of the axial force, BE is 0. So therefore, we'll be having a base shear at B is the same as 50 kilonewtons. Then for the moment, 50 times 2 is 100 kilonewton meter. So a moment reaction at B is the same as 100 kilonewton meter. So we don't have a vertical reaction at point B. Then we proceed to the last column. This is for column CF. So this is how we check. The values should be, or the summation of forces, or the summation moment about the last joint should be equal to 0 as one way to check. So this is 12.5 this time, 12.5 kilonewtons downward for the shear. Then the axial force, this time to the right, this is 25 kilonewtons. So this axial force is equal to the shear force 25. If you are to do summation forces horizontal, basically that is under equilibrium. Then summation forces vertical, we can now compute for the axial force for column CF. This is the axial force for column CF. We have only one vertical force about joint F. That is the 12.5 kilonewtons shear for beam EF. So axial force for column CF is also equal to 12.5 kilonewtons. If you are to check the equilibrium for the moments, 12.5 times 4 is 50 kilonewton meter. This 25, the shear force, 25 times 2 is the same as 50 kilonewton meter. So joint F is under equilibrium. Then lastly, we have at base C, this is 25 kilonewtons. This time to the right. So we have at base C, we have a base shear equal to 25 kilonewtons to the left. Axial force, this time it is downward. This is the axial force for column CF equal to 12.5 kilonewtons downward. So we have the vertical reaction at C should be upward. This is equal to 12.5 kilonewtons. Then for the moments, 25 times 2 is 50 kilonewton meter. So a moment reaction at C is the same as 50 kilonewton meter. So this is our complete analysis of the frame, computing for the shear force, axial force, and the moments about the joints using the Portal method.